I think Hikaru is here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, congratulations, Hikaru.
Thanks. I made it a little bit more messy than I would have liked, but obviously it all worked out.
Yeah, please. But I will give maybe Tanya the microphone to start asking the questions, and later I will also join in.
Let's first get Hikaru's your congratulations firstly, and let's hear it from you on the games, how they went.
Yeah, I mean, I think the match, like most of the other matches, hinged on the first game. I think this first game was probably a little bit worse out of the opening. When Daniil didn't find the right continuation somewhere in this middle, somewhere around move 16, I would say.
When you went queen b2 here?
Yeah, so rook c8, b5. I mean, I think really after b5, a5, the question is, does knight c6 work or not? I mean, I think this was the critical moment of the first game after I push a5. And yeah, I mean, I think knight c6 was the big question. Does it work or does it not work? I haven't checked, so I'm not sure, but it looked quite interesting. I take back, white takes, rook takes pawn, bishop b5, rook c7. And it feels like white should have something here. I didn't see it during the game, but once Daniil didn't do this, I thought that it kind of went away really quickly after this knight a4, knight d5.
Were you surprised with the b5? Because on the camera you looked like you were not expecting it.
Yeah, I was surprised because it's a very committal move. If knight c6 works, it makes a lot of sense, but at the same time, it also gives black a critical square on c5 to put the knight or the bishop. So I thought there was a very big positional concession if there is not a tactical solution here. So that's why I was surprised, because it seemed like a weird move to me, unless knight c6 works. Without knight c6, I think black is already completely fine, whereas without b5, I think white can play like rook c1 or a3 or even a4 maybe, and it feels a little bit uncomfortable perhaps. But after b5, a5, then I just get the square for the knight if white doesn't do anything immediately. So I think that was really the first critical moment, and then after that, after that, I thought that it was still very equal. I think
that chat was suggesting rook c4. Is that something that crossed your mind at all?
Yeah, but what's so special about it? Can't white just play like knight c6 first of all?
So this is what you saw on the side, probably.
Well, I mean, I guess the thing is, I thought, I did what Daniil does against everybody, which is I played the man more than I played the position, because I really felt that Daniil really wanted to press hard in the white game. He likes to be very creative, play things that are not standard, and so for that reason, I just figured try to make the game as flat as possible, which also fits in with the match strategy. But just in general, basically try to be very flat, and that's why I didn't really consider it. And then, I mean, I had a feeling something interesting would probably happen, even though the position is very dry here. Knight c6 takes, queen c7. Yeah, and I mean, I thought what he did was fine, actually. I thought everything he did was fine. I was just ready to make the draw. And then, yeah, so rook c1, right, this is good. Yeah, queen d6, still completely fine.
Feeling that perhaps white's gone wrong already, because I mean, he did lose this pawn and wasn't able to create much counterplay. The position collapsed really soon. So where do you think was the turning point then?
I mean, I think it's still fine. Just g3, rook d8, and just queen d4 instead of queen b5. I mean, once I get d4, then I mean, it's still probably some chances to draw, but it becomes really, really hard. But if he goes queen d4, I mean, I don't really understand why black is even better here. I assume that it's still very drawish. So yeah, I was just queen b5, I think, is where it went wrong. Without queen b5, he goes queen d4. I don't think I have any winning chance. But after I get in d4, I think it's very, very dicey. And I mean, maybe the computer shows something, but practically speaking, it's already just lost. So
yes,
yeah, I mean,
I had the feeling that he just blundered d4. Yeah, there is no other explanation.
Yeah, I mean, I think Daniil wasn't super sharp in the first two games specifically. I felt that he was just he was missing some tactics, and in the second game as well, it was kind of the same thing. But I just see he seemed a little bit like I don't know, he just didn't seem completely there. He wasn't super sharp, so yeah, he missed this d4, and after that it was very smooth. And I mean, I think that kind of like once I won the first game, I think it was very very difficult for Daniil, especially because then in the second game, instead of playing something interesting, I played something extremely boring again. I mean, I think black is completely fine in the game if you just keep going. Yeah, everything I thought he did was correct, like this rook d8.
Sorry, there's some Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I basically thought, no, you have the game up, right? The second game. Yeah, this is the correct one.
Yes.
So basically everything he did here I thought was completely fine. I mean, maybe White's slightly better. Of course, I mean, all the disconnections didn't help anything, but
Yeah, what happened at that moment? Because we saw that there was some confusion. So can you tell us what happened then?
well, I mean, I think the server was lagging. Both players got disconnected. And not only that, but like it said disconnected, and the time was also completely wrong. Like it said 70 seconds, and it said like 20 seconds until you lose the game by disconnection. So I mean, everybody, I think, I mean, both of us had to wait probably a good 5 minutes for that to get sorted out. Which, of course, I mean, for the person who loses the first game, it's much more unpleasant, especially in a situation like Daniil was. So, yeah, I mean, it's very unfortunate.
It was around this time when that server problem happened, and now it looked like White was doing well here. You had a good start in the opening. So is that also a bit? I mean, it's who do you think it's more difficult for to deal with? Is it the side which is doing well to deal with a difficult situation with the server, or somebody who's on the back foot?
I mean, I think it depends on the position, but I think the fact that Daniil lost the game and also was slightly worse in this opening, I think certainly it was much more unpleasant for him. Although even for me, of course, it's quite annoying because you're feeling the rhythm, you're just looking forward to the game and you know to pressing the advantage, and then suddenly it's just like you sit and wait for 5 minutes. So yeah, I mean, it certainly wasn't great for both of us. And then the position just petered out. This should just be a draw. Bishop f6, maybe bishop f6 already. I don't know if it's best. It feels a touch loose, although I guess it's fine. And then, yeah, I mean, everything was completely normal, like f3, knight f4, knight d3, rook e8, rook e1. And yeah, just, I mean, after rook e1, just knight d7, and it's just a complete draw. I mean, I was shocked that Daniil blundered with e4 here. I mean, it was a very nice gift to receive, but if he just goes knight d7, I mean, I think it's just, yeah, it's just already, I mean, nothing really special for White. So
but I mean, looking at the game, I had the feeling that you were putting a lot of pressure also clockwise. Yeah, I mean, that Daniil finally cracked with e4, I felt like it was connected, that he was down to 1 minute on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been at least since the second day against Magnus, I've been playing a lot quicker, I feel like, and so I feel that it certainly helped me because I've gotten big advantages on the clock, which certainly has resulted in some blunders. So yeah, I mean, I think getting ahead helps, but I still was surprised because Daniil is a very, very strong blitz player. So I kind of assumed he would see this knight c5 idea, but he didn't. And then I think the rest was pretty smooth sailing for the most part. Maybe he could have drawn this later, but again, with very little time on the clock, I think practically it's very, very hard.
Yeah, but you say it was, you know, maybe he could have drawn, but like I feel that you showed perfect technique in some ways, giving very little chance, especially the way everything happened here. We were all very, very impressed with avoiding the queenside exchange and the way you converted it from here. Also, Daniil, low on the clock, was not really able to put up the best resistance, but you made it look easy, Hikaru. And now game 3, Daniil got his shot.
Well, I mean, I basically fell asleep at the wheel because there was a critical moment in this game. So if you go to like move like 20-ish, no, move 21, bishop g4, f5. Yeah, so after I played f5, bishop h5, I spent quite a bit of time here. My idea was to go bishop h5, g6, bishop f3, bishop f6. And I think black is probably okay here. And maybe it's still unpleasant after bishop e5, but I think objectively black should be fine because you can trade and go rook d8. And then for some reason I played rook d8. Yeah, like rook e5. But if rook e5, I think again, you can just trade and go rook d8. And White is better, but it's very hard for me to believe that this is much better for White. But in the game, like I used all this time and I thought, okay, I just go rook d8 and I'm fine. And then I, of course, miss this bishop f3 move, which is very, very, very thematic, very natural. And already I think after this, I was kind of annoyed at myself. And then I played bishop f8. And yeah, and here he didn't play rook e5. Like, again, like Daniil moved really quickly, and I was completely thrown off because I thought after rook e5, it was very, very unpleasant for black. And when he went bishop e5, I think, again, it should be fine. I think b6 was okay, but then after a b6, of course, I should have just taken with the a pawn here. I mean, this was completely insane to me to take with the c pawn. And yeah, I think if I do this, it would have been fairly smooth.
Because after CB6, we were all praised about your decision to take with the C pawn and getting rid of the C7 weakness and justifying your rook C8. But you feel
I mean, maybe it's okay, but I thought AB and C6 from the standpoint of being up 2-0 gives me much better drawing chances because like all the end games where they're liquidations, I'm gonna get rid of the B pawn, and worst case, he's gonna have 4 against 3. So I think from the match standpoint, it actually was a big mistake because from the practical standpoint, there are much better drawing chances in all the end games than there are with me taking with the C pawn.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, this wasn't ideal. And then, yeah, and then it still, I think, was kind of okay here. And then I played rook d8, which maybe isn't best. Yeah, now for some reason I played f4, which is just like a terrible move. I simply forgot that he could basically take and bring the rook up to g3. I thought that I would go like queen f3 or something like this, and I'd be fine. But he just goes rook e3, rook g3, and I can obviously just resign. So I went bishop d6, and yeah, I mean, after queen c4, I think maybe there's some way to draw it, but it's very, very difficult. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't good, but luckily I still the lead. And I think game 4 was more just basically keep away, just try not to let the position get too messy, and I think I did a pretty good job of that.
So going into game 4 with a lead of 2-1, you just wanted to play it safe and just make sure you got the match.
Well, I mean, I don't know about play it safe, but certainly try to play stuff that's simpler where you don't have to use a lot of time and get very low on the clock. I mean, I think that's the main thing, and I never really felt like I was in danger, so it worked out pretty nicely.
You said something very interesting at the start when you got here, that you were wanting to play the player more than the position in this match. So can you elaborate that a little bit? Because in the quarters you played Levon, in the semis you beat Magnus, and now playing Dubov. How is the approach different for these 3 players when you're playing the player?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's specific to the game and the colors we had. I think that's the first place to start with. Yeah, I think Daniil's much different than Magnus or Levon for that matter, and that he is one of these guys who tends to play the person more than the board. So for example, he played against Sergey and Ding Liren, who are both very solid players. Of course, they're very strong, but they tend to be very set in the way they play. They don't really like getting out of their comfort zone where they're not in preparation in the opening phase of the game. And I think that's actually why I mean, it wasn't even close when he played both of them, because he got them out of their comfort zone. They really didn't like what was happening, and they weren't able to find the best moves. Couple that with his great play as well, and makes for a very difficult match. So yeah, I think against Daniil, I actually like it because I like being out of my comfort zone. I feel in general, if both players are kind of out of their comfort zone and just playing chess, that's actually, I think, when chess is the most fun, as opposed to stuff that's pure preparation. So from that standpoint, I really like playing against Daniil, as opposed to like Magnus or Levon, where again it's a completely different sort of style matchup. But I think just in that first game, I wanted to try to play more dry chess and just switch it up a little bit. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to play like that every game here on the final.
That's very interesting. And Hikaru, I have to say, whenever you're playing, Twitch is just losing its mind. I mean, you've got this huge community that has such a big support for you and this huge fan following. How is that for you? You also, of course, are a huge part to play in this community, and you feel strongly about them, and you've said it many times. But is that something that you feel about, like they inspire you to perform like this? How important is this for you?
Yeah, I think certainly it provides an extra boost. I mean, when you know that there are thousands of people watching who are rooting for you, it certainly makes a difference. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that's why I'm playing better per se, but I think in general, when you know that there are a lot of fans out there who are supporting you, who are rooting for you to do well, it certainly does give you more motivation. And I'm just really glad that I've been able to play well most of the days, not every day, but most of the days, and here I am in the final. So I'm just very happy that there's so many people who enjoy watching me, enjoy watching chess. It's all very, very good for the game.
All right, and going into day 2 of the final after winning the first mini match, just some thoughts about how your approach for tomorrow?
I mean, just play good chess. I think when you start thinking too much about like the match outcome or trying to win or something, that's when bad things happen. Because I actually, in this third game against Daniil, right around the time when I played the CV6 is right when I was like, as soon as he didn't go rook e5, I'm like, okay, I'm fine. I'm going to draw the game. I'm going to win the match. It's all good. And then of course, I promptly played a couple inaccurate moves, and then the one huge blunder with f4, and just like that, was all out the window. So. I think it's just you focus on playing good moves and trying to do more of the same. And yeah, I won the first one, so I guess he has to win the next 2, which is obviously from a odds standpoint favors me. So just we'll see what happens.
All right, thank you so much, Hikaru. Peter, is there anything that you'd like to ask?
No, I mean, basically, okay, Hikaru has to come back tomorrow for the final, so I don't think that we have to insist on asking too many questions. I would like to congratulate one more time for Hikaru for today's performance and wish him good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you,
All right.
Peter.
All the best, Hikaru. We'll see you
All right,
tomorrow.
see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow. All right. So that was a wrap up of day one of our finals, Peter. Let's take a look at the scoreline. Hikaru Nakamura takes the first match victory with 2.5, 1.5, winning the first game, winning the second game. Dubov striking back in third game, but just not enough as Hikaru with the white pieces was able to keep everything under control. And this was how the tournament looked. Quarterfinals, Hikaru Nakamura beat Levon, Dubov beat Sergei Karyakin, both qualified. Hikaru beat Magnus, Dubov beat Ding Liren, and here we are in the finals.